Hi, Daniel. Here today to do your readings that you ordered. For those of you who don't know, Daniel has actually ordered two readings for my current sale price. I'm having a summer sale until the 16th of June, where if you buy a full price reading, you get another one of your choice half off. So, Daniel, that's what we're going to do for you today. And you requested the 15 card tot spread, which I have not done for anyone before, but you know I've read for you before. I hope you trust me, and I hope this works out. And the other one that you asked for was the monthly forecast for this current period of about 30 days. So I've already shuffled. We're going to start with your 15 card in this video. I will probably make a second video afterwards to do your second reading. But I've already picked your significator. You are a Virgo, of course, and so I am going to use the Tarot Illuminati today. Again, trying to branch out and read for people with some different decks, and also just to make it more interesting. But I did choose for you, that being said, I chose for you the King of Pentacles from this deck. Clearly in this deck he's supposed to be a Taurus because of all the bulls on the throne, but we're not going to worry about that and just say he represents an earthy male person, because I didn't feel that the Knight of Discs represented Virgo as well as the King of Pentacles can. So anywho, I'm all shuffled here and cut, and let's see what we've got for you today. Also using these because they're a little bit smaller than my tot deck, so I hope I have room here. Okay. Some of this stuff here. I just cleaned off my table, but this is still not quite enough room. Okay. So, as usual, hope you can see. I'll do my best here to explain everything. So, this spread, of course, is a 5-section spread of 3 cards. Central section is going to be about your general situation, and your 2 possible outcomes are going to be on the top. The one that you're going to gravitate towards more naturally, if you kind of continue to pursue the path that you're on, is going to be on the right, and hypothetically an alternative path is available to you on the left. Sometimes the cards on the left are just an elaboration of the cards on the right because they're not too different. So, and then on the bottom here, we have sort of the psychological factors that I like to think of this bottom row really as hidden factors that are influencing you to make these choices one way or another. And these are the ones that come from within you, and these are the ones that come from without. In that these are your psychological reasons or forces working here, and these are your karmic ones. So we have this idea of you versus other, and you sort of in the middle here. And overall, I think you are coming down from a kind of high, it seems. It seems to me that you have finished something major in your life recently. You have the World here, and the Eight of Cups really in the center of your reading. And I feel like something has certainly ended for you, and it's left you feeling kind of heavy-hearted and longing for some kind of rush because you, again, I think this feeling of it being over, you're lacking in excitement and energy right now. I just feel like you are awfully heavy right now and just depressed in a way. You're also sort of daydreaming about how you can recover some of that energy in your life because the bottom of your deck has the Seven of Cups. And yeah, I see you as trying to come up with something else to do with yourself. I don't know if I almost sense it's like retirement or something like it. Um, and you're sort of stuck right now. Even though, I think that, well, here's the thing. I think that whatever it is you are leaving behind here, or whatever chapter it is that you are closing in your life, and it is a big one. The world doesn't come up for any old reason, I've learned. And the psychological reasons we have here tell me that it feels more like it feels more like a harsh conclusion than a conclusion that you perhaps chose to make, or something. It could also be, if it isn't something like retirement. Again, honest to goodness, I don't know how old you are, Daniel, but it could also be an injury of some kind that you've had to go through currently. And um, there's something here represented by the Ten of Swords that is just, there's a very painful aspect of this, and I feel like that is what is debilitating you from pursuing this more adventurous lifestyle that you're lacking in right now. Because I think in your heart, you want to be more explorative, and to do bigger and better things, and I think also you in some ways perhaps like the attention of that, of just having things to explore and do with yourself. um, there's a sense of pride in that, I think. And right now you're sort of rendered incapacitated by something. And again, could even be some sort of injury, or it could even just be depression. There are a number of things here that this could be. Um, but there's this big sense again that I'm getting of finality from the world and the Ten of Swords. So again, it feels to me like something is just definitely over for you, and very much over. It doesn't feel like there's a way for you to go backwards necessarily. Um, and so you have to move forward, and I think you're trying to do that in the Eight of Cups. Now, your karmic stuff here, you have the Empress, the Two of Cups, and the King of Cups. And this is your karmic stuff here, your karmic factors, or external um, hidden forces. And we do have the Empress, which is a major arcana, a major arcanum rather, which does represent an outside force either way, usually. But it seems to me that the I want to say that this all boils down to this pursuit of, really, of love. That all three of those cards really smack of wanting to find some sort of more powerful connection with someone, and uh, being able to nurture something with that person, over a period of time. And I almost wonder if that is what part of the purpose of this situation is for you, is that, maybe this is an opportunity for you to slow down a little bit, and uh, to try to cultivate more of a social life, and that maybe you can find some more enrichment and excitement in pursuing that, because I think that's what you're being drawn to. You're being drawn towards a state, um, a condition in which you are more open and receptive to emotions in general. I think, I see you as the King of Cups here, as kind of mellowing out a little bit, and perhaps getting more in tune with your emotional side. Um, I think right now that feels like that's not something you really want to do, but I do think that actually is what is uh, intended here for you. Um, because I do think that you, are in a way, you have distracted yourself from this part of you, or this desire you have, by plunging into work in the past, perhaps. Um, and now that that's no longer an option for you, you are left with this, and I think it's not a bad thing for you to pursue. Now, your current outcome, if you continue along this way, uh, it says that it's going to be tough for you to build those relationships. You have the Chariot here. Let me point this over here. You have the Chariot, the Princess of Cups here, and the Seven of Pentacles. And so I do see that, opportunities for a richer social life are going to come your way. They're going to be something, though, that you have to work on. And they aren't necessarily going to be easy. The Chariot tells me that there is difficulty involved. The Seven of Pentacles also confirms that. That there is a bit, that it isn't without a little bit of struggle. But it does say that overall, if you continue to pursue this more romantic path, as opposed to your more, work or industrious path, then you're actually going to find some success with that. And I think it's going to make you feel more confident in yourself and more in control of things, because right now you don't feel like you're in control. I get this sense that you feel very lost right now. Between the Ten of Swords here psychologically and the Eight of Cups here, the Seven of Cups, I see you as just being kind of lost in a fog, really. And I think that, love's going to pull you through in a way. And you have to trust that. Now, the alternative here is represented over here by the Prince of Cups, Princess of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles. Now that's interesting because the Prince of Cups is so similar to what we've been talking about here with these cards about developing more of a social life. And I think that this does not necessarily have to be read as something alternate to the previous outcome that we just read about. I actually feel like this is more of a trope on that. You do have two princesses in your outcome, which does tell me that you may or may not develop some relationships with some younger women or younger people in general. They don't necessarily have to be women, but they can be younger people in general. You might make friends or more with some younger folks, but I see younger people coming into your life either way. Just because, and that really, I get that mainly because the reading is about social stuff here. I think that's really the hidden drive of this. Now, there is a work element to this one, however. The previous one with the Princess of Cups, whoever she will be, or if she represents you, that is more... I almost feel like that flows a little more naturally. This, it's funny, either way, there's work involved in this. And I think it's saying that working at your relationships is unavoidable. And in some ways, I almost get the sense, too, that from the Eight of Wands, just because the Eight of Wands is aspecting you here, that you want or have wanted in the past, perhaps relationships that are not quite as profound, or you have pursued them sort of serendipitously and not really invested anything in them long term. And I think it's saying now perhaps this is a time to start thinking about investing in them instead of just letting them pass you by. And I think it's saying that you will need to to work at those things and develop them, and that they will take time. Uh, Particularly because we have, the Three of Pentacles here, we have the Seven of Pentacles here, we've got a lot of earth up here, and for the most part, you have a lot of earth and water in your reading overall. This is a very passive reading, and I think that it's funny that it is so because in your mind right now, you're all piss and vinegar, to use an old phrase. You're all fire and air here psychologically, and the rest of your reading is all earth and water, the entire thing minus the Eight of Wands. And so there's this restlessness that you feel psychologically. And the world is asking you, and I don't mean the world card, I think the world literally is asking you, I think, to just slow down and to take a closer look at what is actually in front of you and perhaps less at what you wish you had. Because I do think that the Prince of Wands in you wants to get out there and do something new, do fresh things. And I think you can still find fresh things and new adventures if you include new people in them, or something like that. Let me see what else I've got here. You do have number 8 twice, but really you don't have a whole lot of echoing here. Um, there really isn't much. Again, Venus is emphasized here between the Two of Cups and the Empress, and the Chariot in the Two of Cups is reflected in or rather, the element of Cancer in the Two of Cups is echoed in the Chariot up here. So you do have a lot of Cancer, or some Cancer echoes, some Venus echoes that really kind of confirms for me what we've been talking about here. You have almost the entire Cups family as well, except for the Queen of Cups, and maybe that says something here about possibly what it is you may be looking for. Uh, Someone more like that, perhaps. Someone who is interested in the same things that you are, and someone who is as nurturing and kind as you yourself want to be in some ways, or as your higher self is calling you to be in some ways. Um, Eight of Wands is Mercury. We do have Mercury anywhere else? Oh, I thought we did. I lied. No, we don't have Mercury anywhere else. Um, do have Mars there, and we do have Saturn there. We do have some Saturn, a little bit of Saturn in the form of the Eight of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles, which does, oh, and the World, actually. So we do have 3 Saturn, Saturnal influences here. So that does reinforce that idea of heaviness here. Um, there's just this overall plotting. But I do think, as much as that energy is going to carry through into the future here, into this first outcome, I do think that the Chariot is very strongly reinforcing the idea that, you will be able to overcome that. And I do think, the Chariot does have quite a deal of motion associated with it, obviously. And it is vaguely Mars-like, considering its association on the tree with Gevora. And so it does provide stimulation here that you desperately need. It does provide some excitement, and it does provide some mobility here. So I think, whatever this is that has rendered you a little incapacitated here, whether it be depression, physical injury, retirement. I know I listed a whole bunch of things, but it really doesn't matter what it is. It just matters that something has ended here, and it is debilitating you. I think that either way, however, you're going to regain some mobility in your life, and it's going to come to you through your relationships, okay? In either way, for either outcome, because the Three of Pentacles is also Mars in Capricorn, and so we do get that nice Mars energy for mobility. Both endings for you have some kind of mobility. The first option is much stronger, and hmm, I wish there were more I could say about the Chariot, but I think the interesting thing is that if I had to look at these two outcomes as separate or opposite from each other in some way, I would have to say that the more natural outcome on the right is exactly that. Even though there's this Seven of Pentacles that's giving it, this sort of heaviness, it still feels more natural in its succession here and in its eventual success. Whereas over here, I'm getting that the Prince of Cups is more of the idea of you acting on your own volition and pursuing something that you feel is idealistic. And I think that what you perhaps consider idealistic is some kind of work relationship in a way. And I actually think that the Chariot, with its connection to Cancer down here, and all of this good stuff over here, as far as what karma is pushing you towards, I think that the Chariot is telling you to sort of let karma just do its job. That really you won't have to do too much in terms of pursuing. That actually, if you are in some ways kind of passive about it, it will happen naturally. And I think you just have to let those opportunities come and then continue to cultivate those opportunities. Once those opportunities have fallen in your lap, or once those connections have been established, don't let them dissipate, is I think what the message of the Seven of Pentacles is saying here. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I tried to read this the best I could, and I hope that it, again, is helpful. And if not, let me know, and I'll be happy to either try something else for you, or do it again, or whatever. Okay, so let me know, and I hope it worked. All right, thanks, Daniel. I'll be sure to get on your subsequent reading in just a minute. Okay, thanks.